Hi, how's it going? Okay, so Gingy Snaps, we're here with Premium Artemis. Yes, okay, cool. I don't think you guys understand. I love Artemis as a deck just because, A, it's budget. You build the deck for like under 10 bucks, 20 bucks in standard, and then you kind of laugh and have a good time. Uh, Premium is basically the same thing. It's really budget, Uh, it's basically like a standard deck plus like one or two, you know, like two Dreaming Dragon. Like honestly, I think the most expensive card realistically is like Iris, mainly just because that's a $3 card. But like everything else, like being reprinted or in like the premium collection is like super easy. Makes the deck super accessible, and it's super fun to play. We're not here to be competitive, alright? I feel like you guys know this already. We're not here to be competitive, we're here to have fun, build decks within a budget, and then Critsack. That's the moral of the story. But I fucking love this deck so much. It's so funny to play. Alright, without any further ado, I'm gonna get right on into this. So starting off, we go back and forth between like either Artemis starter. Now this one is the standard one, non-ride draw card. Like, yeah, cool. And then this one's the ride chain, where if the grade 1 Artemis rides it, you look at the top 7 and search for your grade 2 or grade 3 Artemis, and then stays in the soul, and then if grade 1 Artemis doesn't ride it, it's Forerunner. So what it becomes is I've swapped back and forth between these because every single time I run this, if I ride the grade 1 Artemis, I hit my target. If I don't ride the Artemis, I call it as a Forerunner, and then it becomes Revelation fodder. If I ride this, I manage to always somehow see the grade 1 Artemis, and then I want this every time. I go back and forth between these two, and I actually hate the fact that I go back and forth between these two. So, to each their own. If you're, for whatever reason, if you have a Artemis standard deck, run this. I run this because I have it and kind of want to test some things out. But yeah, I either wanted the Artemis starter, in all honesty. Grade 3's, come on, son of a bitch. Alright, here we go. Grade 3's. Alright, cool. We're back here with 4 Artemis. Okay, so the way this deck works in Premium is your gauged units are kind of on the defensive on your opponent's turn. But on your offensive turn, it's not really, what's the word? Like, it's not all that helpful. Mainly because you're on a stride, your continuous isn't live. So if you have like a grade 2 Artemis with a gauge, it'll be like, sure, it'll be like a 20k base attacker, but it won't have that resistibility. It will be, it will only have that resist on your opponent's turn, and the additional 5k. But yeah, that part hasn't really come up, but I imagine that a lot of times it will come up. But yeah, a force marker, super simple. This is really good for going for that early game like rush before you stride, because if you have something with a gauge, you go all effect. They no guard the Vanguard, you go all effects Vanguard, and then something else has that 10k in a crit. It's the same thing as in standard, but with Premium. Also, it has a force marker, which makes it that much better. And then our second grade 3 is 3 Pleon. It's kind of the same thing in standard. Like on place, look at 3 1 to soul, other 2 on the top of the deck. The amount of times where we just kind of look at 2 criticals on the top of our deck while our opponent's on grade 2, and they say the no guard word. And I'm just like, okay, cool, crit power, crit power. It's fun. So yeah, 3 Pleon, mainly just because it helps stack deck. Grade 2s. where are you? Here we go. Grade 2s, okay. Again, like standard. For grade 2 Artemis. Grade 2 Artemis on hit, get a gauge. And then it gets 10k for every divine gauge. So on your opponent's turn, if this has 2 gauge, it is a 30k base attacker. On a Force Bunker, it is a 40k base attacker. Combined with Amaruta, it's 50k with crit. You know, again, but that's like if it has 2 gauge. If it has 1 gauge, then everything I just said is 40k with a crit. Which, you know, that's a pretty nice number. This is your main kind of attacker, you know, kind of like a... I don't know how to even analogize it. Kind of like History Maker and Time Leap, or Mellum. You know, but like, you want to see this as much as possible, because that on-hit pressure, it's good, and if your opponent lets it hit, it can kind of start to snowball, because it gets bigger, and then you start attacking like other things to make it bigger, and it can just get out of control and really big super quickly, which is why grade 2 Artemis is good in this deck. And then for Ulysses, because you can whiff on the Vanguard and still get a draw out of it. It also puts itself into Soul and Soul charges, which, you know, Genesis building up your Soul. I dig it. And 2 Ningal, because On-Ride Revelation is pretty good. I like On-Ride Revelation. That's really all it comes down to. It's also a 10k base. The problem is that if you don't put anything into your Soul anytime, it can't attack the Vanguard. So if no cards were put into... What it says is, if no cards were put into the Soul during this turn due to card effects, it can't attack a Vanguard. So, like, it can attack a rear guard, but, like, okay, sure. And then also, like, On-Ride Revelation, but, like, you know, 9k. Yeah, the GB one never comes up, I guarantee you that. So, don't even worry about it. We do it for On-Ride Revelation. Alright. Grade 1s, you know, for grade 1 Artemis, you know, like I said, you write it, on the Artemis searcher, you kind of, you know, search out your Artemises, Artemis, who knows, but Artemis's function is different in premium, mainly just because if you do decide to gauge it, it then becomes your rear guard sniper, because that act ability of Counterblast 1, get rid of a gauge, kill something in the same column as it, becomes more, not even more relevant, it just kind of becomes more useful than, you know, only gauging it once and it becoming like a really big booster in standard. So this is more or less our rear guard snipes. Oh god, why am I doing it like this? Okay, cool. Then we got 4 of our reduced soul blasting by 3, mainly just because, you know, I like saving up soul sometimes. I like saving up soul for big turns. Every once in a while I try getting off Amaruta, Ampharos. I know it's Ampharos, I keep saying Ampharos, like the Pokemon. And then 3 Melissa, because Melissa's really cheeky and funny. Note to self, never use Witch of Frogs Melissa against Luard, because, you know, I would hope that goes without saying, but, you know, filling their whole board up with, like, grade 1s, or, like, killing their board of grade 1s, yeah, no, this is not good. It's not good. Everything else, though, yeah, have free reign. But, yeah, Soul Blast 3, basically, what was it? Upheaval Pegasus, their board. That's what it was. And then 3 Stride Fodder. I like Stride Fodder in this deck. There are some decks where I'm like, okay, yeah, Stride Fodder, not so much. Like Tachikaze, which is coming up. I'm recording at the same time as this. But, yeah, 3 Stride Fodder. Super nice, super simple, easy to remember. Alright, triggers. It's 6 crits, starting off with 4 Tablet Angel, which is the like Persona like crit. Slap it in soul, draw a card, plus 10k. V crit. And then we go like 2 stand because I like Dreaming Dragon. The main purpose of this deck is to survive and Critsack. So Dreaming Dragon helps us kind of like not outlast our opponent, but you know, helps recycle. Helps recycle our drop zone back to our deck. Draws us a card if we return 10 or more. Crits, you know, C6 crit. Yeah, so there's that. 4 draw PG, and then this is the one like premium deck where I run 4 V heals, mainly just because I don't want to run ear. I don't want to run ear because I want to recycle all of my heals with Dreaming Dragon, and Dreaming Dragon is like a $1 card, so like the 2 for 2, you know, super simple. So yeah, 4 V heals, you know, yeah, 6 crit, 2 stand, easy peasy. Alright, cool. That's it for the main deck. Let's go. Moving on to this G-Zone. This G-Zone is entertaining. Okay, so starting off, we have 4 Amaruta Ampharos. Sorry. You know what? No, I'm going to keep calling it Ampharos. So, stride it. It has Revelation. So, on place, you peek at the top card, decide whether to put it in Soul or leave it on the top of the deck. Every single time I hit Revelation, I never want to put it into Soul because it's something like a trigger. And it always kind of irks me. Because there would be like, oh hey, I want to build up Soul. God damn it, it's a trigger. You know? I don't know if you guys know. But anyways, its Act ability, which is really good in combination with, where is it? Grade 2 Artemis. Grade 2 Artemis on like a force marker and a gauge because it's 30k. So Counterblast 1, flip something up in the G zone. One of your rear guards, 10k in a crit, and if your soul has 4 or less, draw 2, soul charge 5. That's pretty good. You know, if you have like a minimum of 4 or a maximum of 4, you go up to 9 cards in soul. That's pretty good. I like that. I like making those kind of numbers in the soul. And then at the end of the battle that it attacked, Soul Blast 15, or you can Soul Blast 15, stand one of your rear guards, and then until end of turn, your opponent can't Sentinel. I got that ability off once, and it was kind of funny, because I knew I was going to get that ability off, and, you know, I didn't have a Artemis at the time. I think I had, like, a Pleone or something on a force marker with the 10k and a crit. First check, critical trigger, cool, all affix Pleone. Second check, something else. I think it was like a draw trigger. And then third check, stand trigger. But I had another rearguard at the time that could be stood because I rested it off of Revelation. And I stood that rearguard, Soul Blast 15, stand the Pleone, and you know, now it can't be Sentineled. You know, having a 63k attacker with like 3 crit is really good. So this is your first stride, and you kind of go interchange with our next boy, which is like for Vanargander, however you pronounce this. So GB2 Soul Blast 6, flip another copy of it. When it attacks, you pay the cost, and then it gets red text that at the beginning of the drive step, so like after your opponent's garden and everything, and like said 2 to pass or whatnot, you proceed to look at the top 4, pick 4, or pick up to 4, put those cards on the top and the rest on the bottom. So basically, if you look at the top 4, there's one trigger among them, and you know, nothing else that you want to see. You put that one card on the top and then put the rest on the bottom of your deck, and then you proceed to do your triple drive. Boom, you guarantee. This basically guarantees you what you're going to drive check in a sense. But yeah, so what the initial strategy that I do is I first stride Ampharos, build up that soul, get up to like 9 cards in soul, and then second stride I go into Vanagander, and then I go back into Ampharos, and then go into Vanagander again, and then try to kill him on Ampharos. But yeah, I've only second strode Amaruta twice in a row if I felt like I was going to get that Soul Blast 15 for no Sentinels and an extra crit off. But, you know, this is a better card than I think people were saying it out to be, and that may be just because it, like, quote-unquote fits with this deck, but then again, let's be honest, this deck is absolute garbo. But hey, it's fun, and it's budget, and I enjoy playing it, and we're here to have fun in Critsack. Then we go into 1 Iana, which is basically flip fodder for Ampharos over here. 1 Sabreeze, because we're back to a format where, like, Sabreezing is, like, cool again, I guess, almost. Not really, but kinda. But yeah, it's also just flip fodder for Ampharos. And then G-Guards. First off, we come to, like, the most quote-unquote expensive one, which is, like, $4. Iris. So, on place, choose up to 3 cards from your drop zone, put them into Soul, and then if you put 3, it gets 5k. It's a 20k shield. It puts 3 cards back into your Soul. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Then we got 1 Tagwat. Tagwat says, on place, I choose one of your rear guards, and then choose up to 3 cards with the same name as that unit from your drop zone, put them into Soul, and if you put 1 or more cards, it gets 10k. So if you put at least 1, it gets 10k. So if you have a grade 2 Artemis, you Tagwat, you choose Artemis, and then if you have like another like grade 2 Artemis in your drop zone, you slap it into Soul, it gets 10k. You know, our G-Guards kind of get big for apparently no reason. Like, that's a 20k shield, that's a 25k shield. This is basically Tagwat, but if you already have, like, another copy. Tagwat basically sets up Hanasatsuki, in a sense. Hanasatsuki says, on place, choose one of your rear guards, and if you have a card with the same name in your Soul, it gets 10k. Okay, so these are both 25k defenders. I like that. 1 Ultimate Regalia of Affection Ear. So on place, choose up to 4 cards from your drop zone with different grades, which isn't hard to do. You put them into your Soul. If you put 2 or more, it gets 5k. If you put 4 cards, it gets 10k. This becomes a 30k blocker if you do all 4. So 0, 1, 2, and 3 basically gets you 15k more shield. And then Witch Queen of Accomplishment Laurier. Excuse me. So on place, G-Guard flip, choose 2 normal units. Choose 2 or more normal units with the same grade from your drop zone or Soul, up to a total of 3. So basically you choose either 2 or 3. You return to your deck, and then it gets 5k for each unit returned, and then you shuffle your deck. So basically, again, a 30k defender. These are both 30k defenders. These are both 25ks, and then 20. You know, we have big G-Guards. And obviously, I know you guys are smart. I know this. You know this. This is a 15-card G-Zone. Mainly because we don't have a 16th card. In all honesty, that is your money spot. You can do whatever you want with that 16th spot. I recommend Ultima if you got it. I don't agree with Agnos in this deck, mainly just because... Or you can put Agnos for that free stride. You're never going... I would never use Agnos effect, like, in this deck. You know, because it's a mandatory call over everything, and then you draw 3, and I'm like, no, I'd really rather not. But, yeah, either Ultima or Agnos, the GB8, yeah, whatever you want. So, yeah, that's Premium Artemis. It's hilarious, we Critsack, and we have fun with it. So, I hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this deck in the comments below. And, yeah, have a good day.